Well, it turns out that crime is not a problem that has existed from the beginning of all time with no easy pat solutions. Nope, crime is really a problem unique to America, and there's an easy fix. Just ask AOC. Watch.
If we want to reduce violent crime, if we want to reduce the number of people in our jails, the answer is to stop building more of them. The answer is to make sure that we actually build more hospitals, we pay organizers, we get people mental health care and overall health care, employment, etc. It's to support communities, not throw them away.
Yeah, that's right. You can now reduce crime by simply getting rid of jails. I mean, it was so obvious, but we missed it. But that's why we're lucky to have AOC in Congress, because when she's not condemning Israel or our police, our hardworking police, she can be counted on to solve very tough problems like crime. Just stand in front of some microphones and say things like building fewer jails will make crime go away. And then she can count on Fourth Estate press that really likes her to never ever ask her a question about how that's going to work. You know, though, AOC's idea got us thinking. If building fewer prisons can reduce crime, why not have no prisons at all? I mean, then we would have zero crime. That's easy, right? Maybe if we had no landfills, we'd have no trash. Or if we had no hospitals, we'd have no disease. What if we had no police? Then we'd have no criminals. I mean, she already beat us to that one, so that's, that sucks. But we want to be fair. We know that she's trying to say in her very naive way that if we just spent more on mental health or after-school programs or a few trillion additional dollars on this or that, then we could change human nature and make crime go away. Tell that to Abel, who was murdered by his brother Cain out of jealousy, the first ever murder recorded in human history in the good book. Apparently, though, they lacked really good after-school programs back then, too. In any case, AOC has a ton of enthusiasm, a cool Instagram feed, and she apparently was a pretty decent bartender. But as a congresswoman, no. She doesn't seem to understand that it's not the lack of government that's the problem, it's the human heart. And it's been that way since the beginning of time. We steal and kill because we're envious and greedy for what we don't have. Our default mode as human beings is selfishness. That's why the aliens don't visit us. Just watch any child on the playground and you know it's true. Goodness and virtue, this is something that is demonstrated and taught, not by the government though, but by parents. The human heart, yes, is very deceptive and corruptive, and AOC would know that if she just examined her own. It turns out while AOC is busy talking about how she can solve all the crime and how we can eliminate all poverty with big government, she has failed to take care of her own abuela in Puerto Rico. And here are pictures of her grandmother's home that she shared when she visited with her recently. Now, AOC used this moment to say that it was a lack of government intervention, specifically from the United States, as the reason that her grandmother lives in squalor after the damage done by Hurricane Maria. It's the government's fault, according to AOC. Meanwhile, she wears $2,000 suits and she drives one of the most expensive Teslas. I think the monthly payment for a lease is $499. And her grandmother's living conditions? Well, that's your responsibility, the American taxpayer, not hers. But this is the human heart, AOC's heart to be exact, on display. See, it's easier for AOC to blame others for her grandmother's living conditions than for her to take care of her grandmother herself. This way, she can drive a Tesla while blaming America for her own grandmother's poverty. And she can throw out solutions to crime like building fewer jails while letting other Americans who live in impoverished areas suffer at the hands of criminals while she lives just squarely, securely in a very posh neighborhood with armed bodyguards. It's a little bit selfish, narcissistic, and yes, cold-hearted, especially for a socialist who supposedly has a bleeding heart.